my channel. It's Sharz Lambert here, the international nanny, parent coach and sleep consultant. I've been doing this for 14 years and I am very, very passionate about sharing my knowledge with parents and nannies and mannies and anyone else that wants to know more about childcare. So today we are discussing hiring a nanny, what to know and what to ask. Okay, so I've written some notes down. I'm going to go through it with you again, like what I did with my last video with potty training. If you haven't seen it, please go back on my channel, have a watch, let me know what you think in the comments, or you can send me a message on any of my social media platforms. My DM, my messages are open for everyone, okay? Not for any funky business, okay? Just make sure it's childcare related, all right? Because I have been getting some funny messages, I must say. Yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So the first question, bear in mind, I'm going to give you a few questions. You don't have to just answer these ones. You can have loads, but these are the ones that I'm giving you as tips, like important ones that I feel parents need to ask. The first one I will say, for a parent needs to ask a nanny, what qualities do you think make a great nanny? And the reason why I say you should ask this question is because you will gauge from her answer or his answer what they are like as a nanny. So for instance, I think I have great qualities as a nanny, so I will describe myself. And that might sound very big-headed, but it's just the honest truth. I would describe the qualities that I have because I know I'm a good nanny. I'm confident in what I do. I'm passionate in what I do. So this is a way for the nanny to, sell themselves to you in a way. The second question I would say is, what was your last job and why did you leave? You need to know why they left. And the reason why I say this is because it's not a blame game or fault game, but you just need to understand where their vision is. If your family is the family for them. The next question I'll say is to ask about qualifications, what qualifications they hold or what experience they've had. And the reason why I said it is because, again, knowledge is power. So the more you know, not to say that you always know everything. Like I said, I've been doing it for 14 years now and I don't know everything. I will never claim to know everything, but I do know a lot. Pediatric first aid. Make sure they have pediatric first aid, because if anything happens to your child, medical-wise, you want to be confident and know that your nanny knows what to do. So pediatric first aid is a must. It's not negotiable, okay? They have to have that, yeah? DBS. It's important. It used to be called a CRB. It's now called a DBS. Make sure they have a DBS and ideally on the update system, because what happens with the update system is the nanny will pay a yearly fee and every year it gets updated. So for instance, your nanny's not a criminal when you met her, but she had a crime. Not saying that she has or but she might have committed a crime within the last year. You don't know because her DBS is clean or his DBS is clean. But because it gets updated every year, you get to see what's on there. As well, make sure they have nanny insurance. That's very important. And this is where you kind of start weeding out the nannies that are genuinely doing it for the children or for the passion. Because if a nanny is not that serious, nanny insurance, I would question. If I was a parent and my nanny didn't have nanny insurance, I would question that. I'd be like, do you not want to cover yourself just in case anything happens? So make sure they have nanny insurance. If they don't, then I say nanny insurance. I'm joking. Don't say that. Yeah, so make sure they have nanny insurance, childcare qualification, obviously. It could be experience, because sometimes, I'll be very honest, some people don't have the qualifications, but they have the experience. So it's really up to you as a parent to decide what's more important to you. And if they do, make sure they show proof of that, okay? And when I say proof, a certificate. You don't want a photocopy, you want the original, okay? Then also, it does help. I think how you know your nanny is a serious nanny and she takes her profession seriously is if she is registered with or he, I keep saying she, but there's he's as well, there's mannies as well. Don't forget the mannies, mannies, I know you're out there. If they're registered with a governing body, and when I say governing body, it's an association, should I say. So they're in the UK, there's BAPN, which is the British Association for Professional Nannies. I am a member. They're amazing. They're like a support system for all nannies. And they even, if you have questions, you can contact them as a parent and ask. And the ladies there are really, really helpful. They're really lovely. So with that, you get like free courses. You get kept up to date on what's going on in the nanny industry, in the childcare industry, any regulations, any changes. So that's really important. Also, I think internationally there's the INA, which is the International Nanny Association, and that one is, I think, based in it is based in the US, but it's also for international nannies. So anywhere, any nannies in the world can sign up with that one. So yeah, that's a plus, by the way. They don't have to have that. It's not a necessity. Ofsted registration, again, it's not compulsory, but it is very good. If you want to save some money, it's really good to have, because for every £8 that you spend, so every £8 that you give to your nanny, you get £2 back. So you get some money back, and you also can pay them through childcare vouchers as well. So you save a bit of money with Ofsted registration. Also, I did say in my last video, I said monthly, but I was meant to say yearly. Your nanny pays a yearly fee for Ofsted registration. So again, if your nanny's not that serious, she's not going to be paying a yearly fee for Ofsted registration. So again, that weeds out the bad eggs, because we do have a few. Not that I want to talk about them, but we do have a few. I've heard a few horror stories, and I'm like, oh yeah. So then the next question I would say is, what activities do you like doing with children? And make sure they show examples of what they've done in the past. And you want to make sure that the activities they show you are age appropriate for the children, for the age of your children. So for instance, you have a 2-year-old, you would ask the nanny, what kind of activities will you do with a 2-year-old? How do you relate it to development? If you want to go in more depth, you can ask them, what are the areas of development? What ones do you think are most important? Which ones do you focus on the most? Those kind of questions. If you've got a grilling your nanny, they're going to look at me and be like, who you been listening to, Nanny Show? So ask these questions, are very important. What is your approach to discipline? You need to know that, okay? Because if you have two different approaches to discipline, straight away, clash. And you don't want to be clashing, because you're meant to be a team. The nanny is the third parent. And I always say the nanny is the third parent, because the nanny supports the parents and the child. Okay, so make sure you're both on the same wavelength when it comes to discipline. What is your favourite and least favourite thing about nanny? And this is where you get to see their honesty, really. Because, first of all, if they have way too many things they don't like, that's a red flag. Red flag? Oh, maybe red as well. Yeah, so literally, if they have too many things that are least favourites, that's a one of me. I have to think. When someone says, what don't you like, I have to think. I do, if I'm honest. And a lot of the time, it's not related to the children. So, yeah. So, that's another one. The next question is, what kind of meals do you cook? Do you batch cook? Make sure they have, I was meant to put this on actually. Make sure they have some form of nutrition qualification. And when I say qualification, it could be just that they've gone on an online course and just, developed their knowledge on nutrition. Because it's very important, obviously, when you're cooking for children, that you're cooking them healthy meals with listen to me, with all the food groups, that incorporate all the food groups. So you want to make sure that your nanny can cook and can cook healthy foods. And batch cooking is very good because it allows the nanny more time to spend with the children and do other fun stuff. Moving on. How flexible is your schedule? Is there any restrictions? You need to know that now. Some nannies I know don't like to travel. I'm like, I beg your pardon? Me, I love traveling. That's like one of my favorite things to do. Traveling with the nanny family is so much fun. It's very demanding. It's very challenging. But I love a challenge. So it's just amazing for me. Each day is different. You never know what you're going to do. The parents are happy because they know they've got childcare. They can go on a date night. You're having fun because you're spending time with the children. You get to know the parents a bit more. It's just really nice. I really like it. But some nannies don't want to travel with the nanny family. So you need to know the restrictions from now. What are their deal breakers? What they're prepared to do, what they're not prepared to do. What would make them leave? what would make them not want to stay or not want to still be in the position. You need to ask these questions. Okay, we're getting there. Also, you want to ask them to describe a typical day. Also, a typical day. So, it shows organisation skills as well and how much thought they put into the day. Some nannies walk into work and have a whole plan of what they're doing. With me, I always plan like beforehand. So when I go into work, I already know what I'm doing for that day. I tend to ask, if the children are old enough, I tend to ask them, what do you want to do next week? What kind of activities would you want to do? Do you want to go anywhere? Is there anything that like you saw that you want to try? So, but if they're too young to ask that, then it's best that the nanny uses her or his initiative and puts something in place. And then the last question I say is a bit more personal, just to ask, just to kind of get a overview of what the person's like, because really and truly, yeah, this person is a nanny, but they're also a human, and you want to kind of just know if you're going to gel with them or not. You know what your personality trait is like, and you know what kind of people you get on with, but how do you know that your nanny might be someone that you won't get on with? So you want to know their hobbies. What kind of hobbies do they do? How do they spend their free time? What do they do when they're not working? Those kind of questions are good. What I will say is ask a lot of scenario questions. So what would you do in this case? Don't make the scenarios a bit too far-fetched. Make them very realistic. You know, if my child had an accident, how would you go about letting me know? What's the first thing you would do? You know, certain things like that. Try and do open-ended questions as well. And please, 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 I cannot stress this enough. Do not ask any personal questions, guys, please. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, okay? And when I say personal, that means, do you have a boyfriend? Are you married? Do you have children? Do you want children? Who do you live with? Do you have a mortgage? Are you straight? Are you gay? Honest to God, honestly, I've been asked some of these questions and I'm like, how does this relate to your children? How is me answering this question gonna let you know how well I'm gonna look after your children? It doesn't make any sense. So if you can, try and avoid asking those questions. And also, I am gonna do a video on nanny agencies versus DIY, finding a nanny yourself. But if you are finding a nanny through a nanny agency, there will be a fee. So keep that in mind. But your chances of finding a really great nanny are probably a bit higher because the agency do their own checks as well. Not to say that you shouldn't do your own checks as well, but the agency do most of the work for you. They will send you over all the references. That's another one. How can I forget that? Ask for references. Try and see at least 3 or 4 even, because you want to try and compare. 2 is okay. Normally the average is 2, but you can ask for more if you want. And if you are going to put in an offer for a nanny, speak to if you can. Some people don't like being contacted, and especially when you work for high net worth individuals like I have, some of them don't want to be contacted. Some of them are celebrities, some of them are public figures, some of them are quite well known in their field, so they want to kind of just remain private and confidential, which is fine. But as long as you can get a reference, and if a reference is refused, you kind of want to know why as well. So I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please leave a comment below. Also feel free, like I said, my DMs is always open to you guys. So send me a message on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I was going to say call me, but you don't have my number. So if you want, you can always email me as well. info@nannysharz.co.uk. That's info@nannysharz.co.uk. And if you found this video useful, please share it. And, share it to your friends, share it to your mom, your auntie, your dad, your sister, your children, everyone. Just share it. Please, just share. Because knowledge is power. The more we know, the better we can do. If you don't know what you don't know, you don't know what you don't know. Hey, you don't know what you don't know. Why do I turn everything into a... Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave you to it. I know you guys are busy. You got lives to run and children to look after and jobs to fulfill. So, yeah. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'll be posting videos weekly, and I also will be posting a lot on my Instagram as well. So if you like what you see, again, please just share. All right, take care.